The New York Post interviewed a MAGA influencer in New York City about her list of bare minimum requirements for the men that she dates in the city. And it caused a lot of controversy, mainly because of the tone that she took with men. And it's always all of the things men are required to do and never any requirements on yourself to meet them halfway. Here was her list. She goes by Rack is Right. I have seen her content before, but I wasn't familiar until today. She seems like, honestly, one of the most annoying people on the planet. Here's her list. The bare minimum for men on a first date. Number one, pay the bill. If you split the bill, I will never speak to you again, and I will slander you.
Okay, so right off the bat, this is where it all starts. It's the little jabs that are her bread and butter and are designed to be inflammatory.
Like, this doesn't make you look good, you know? And it's also kind of demoting you in the sexual marketplace, as much as I despise that term, to be the woman who is demanding things, because it implies that you're not getting those things to begin with. It implies that you actually are one of the women who is assumed to be, I guess, this sounds harsh, but unworthy of this type of treatment. That is why you're the one screaming and crying and throwing a tantrum to get it. The women who do get treated like this on a first date, the way that you're demanding it, they don't post things like this. They don't act like this. That's kind of the problem in and of itself. Number two, open the door. All doors. I don't touch doors. It's even just the tone in that one is like, I don't touch doors. It's giving princess treatment, like that
Yes.
TikToker who was making content about princess treatment and how she expects princess treatment from her husband. And she's like, I don't make eye contact with service workers.
Yeah.
I don't order my own food. I don't talk to the hostess because I'm a princess. Like, you just sound insane. You sound insane and impossible to talk to.
Again, but this is the point of the era we live in when it comes to how you get big on social media. She could write this list in a less annoying way.
This is the thing. Everybody has a list, whether or not they've enumerated it or whether or not they have shared it. Usually people have the decorum not to blast it all over social media. Number three, let her order first. I have no idea why that one is there. Why is that important?
I don't know. That doesn't really make sense to me, but you know, I was thinking about what it's like when we go to a restaurant, and pretty much always if the waitress or the waiter is like, you know, are you guys ready? And everybody says, yeah, I would always defer to whoever I'm with that they can go first if they want. But that's just a force of habit, and it had nothing to do with, you know, relationship stuff. It's just good manners.
I mean, I heard the traditional etiquette is actually for the man to order first so that the woman has an implication of the price range that she should look for in the menu.
It sounds like the point she's trying to make here is you let her order first so she's not encumbered, so she can be unencumbered of such problems, or she can be like,
exactly.
He's like, you know what? If you want to spend $1,000 on food tonight, go ahead.
Yeah.
But then you know what he does to get her back? Right after she does that, he orders something off the dollar menu to make her feel bad.
Okay, number four, let her sit in the booth, obviously.
Wait, in this reality, is there only one booth?
Yeah, if there's like a table that has one side as a chair and one side is the booth, I guess that the woman gets the booth. Whatever. You're already on the wrong side of history on this issue, because I believe in sitting next to each other, not across.
Wait, so even on a first date? Even on a first date?
I mean, I just think sitting next to someone is superior to sitting across.
Okay. We have a 20 here from Shane H. Wilder. He says, you can chalk your door as a renter. I do it on my apartment door. CMB is for the three wise men. Is that Casper, Melchior, and Balthazar? It is also for the Latin, I can't read that one. You're going to have to read that one when it comes up. Or may God bless this house. Where may God bless this house. So that explains the what looked like a quadratic equation that he wrote there. So continue. I'm sorry.
Okay, number 5 is offer to walk her home / to her / to Uber to prove you're not a huge beep
Again, this is the point. So she could have said that
keyword.
without the last part there, and it would have been a perfectly reasonable request. She's just.
But even then, like, they would still find a problem with it. Like, oh my gosh, he was so creepy. Like, he wouldn't let me go home. He was following me home. He was a creep. Like, they could twist it either way.
I'm just trying to find a way to help this lady be less of a cunt.
Oh, she's not interested in being less of a cunt, though. Like, that's the problem. She's not interested in being a palatable person. Number 6, do not mention your ex, your situationship, or quote, this girl I used to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone understands that that's a faux pas, so I don't know if that needed to be there. But number 7, sidewalk rule. If you don't know it, that explains why you're single. So that rule is you stand on the side of the road that is like near the cars, basically, so she doesn't get run over.
Fun fact. Because Olivia has to always walk on my left side because that's the only ear that I can hear out of. There have been times where we are walking home and like we like post something on Instagram and definitely got like called out by somebody for me not walking on that side. And I was like,
people made that their own personal crusade.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? If we get hit by a car, I will pull her out of the way and throw her towards the wall. I
looked further into this girl. That is the conclusion of the list, by the way. I looked further into this girl's social media presence because I knew that I slightly recognized her face. She is one of the most vapid, like, conservative, quote unquote, influencers ever. Like, she's basically just one of these liberals who's, you know, she's like pro-choice, she's pro-gay, and
but anti-woke, like, so that way she's she's
like
gonna end up on a.
And she wants to make America hot again. Like, what does that even mean?
She's gonna end up on one of those conservative beer calendars.
Literally, that is the type of person we are talking about. Another one that she added as an addendum here was, NYC men are either gay, too good to be true, or ran through.
What does too good to be true mean? And I thought we weren't supposed to care about a person's sexual history. I thought you were supposed to love them for who they are, no matter what. It's the past in the past. Are you insecure, ma'am? She must be insecure.
Yeah, well, I mean, since she started that conversation, I'm sure that she would feel perfectly comfortable sharing with everyone what her body count is.
What's your body count?
Yeah. And she elaborated to the post, the person in the suburbs would just never understand that. The best man in the entire world, the guy who seems like he's an effing catch, is actually pure evil. And that's all of the men that you meet?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're the common denominator there, Rack. Also, why is your name Rack? Anyway.
With a Q.
They get some more input from female commenters. One said, standard etiquette, anything below this basic standard is a non-starter. Funny how bare minimum, this one was from a man. Funny how bare minimum for men always comes with maximum entitlement for women. Another man said, I don't disagree, but your tone makes you sound high maintenance and undateable unless I was drunk / desperate.
See, okay, so here's the thing. This guy right here, he's like me. He'll never be successful on social media because he's being too rational and too fair, okay? She's not, the tone is the point. She knows that list doesn't get any traction unless it's got a bunch of snark in it. And and your responses will not even get the traction to meet her, to meet her at her level because your response is too even keel. You need to be like, listen here, bitch, and then like you have to be ungovernable on the internet if you want any traction. Unfortunately,
listen here, bitch.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that's the way of the world when it comes to the internet. You have to be annoying and you have to be unbelievably incendiary.
Rack, being the charity worker, the absolute saint, the Mother Teresa of a generation, actually has hosted a lot of mixing events for singles under the title Make America Hot Again, in which she hopes other singles can meet normal city conservatives in real life, which literally just means that they're liberals from 10 years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
There's so she says a whole faction of conservatives who are like, you have to be married by 22 and in a dress on a farm milking cows. Like, I'm just not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Who are all of these men that expect this? I've actually heard, and this is from my own experiences talking to young guys in real life about like their dating experiences. I've heard more of them complain about how they continue dating young women their age who insist on being, living on a homestead and want a farm.
And they're like,
and have
bro,
cows and chickens.
bro, I
and
can't afford that.
Yes. That's actually the complaint that I have heard from conservative-minded young men, is that they can't stop meeting all of these like trad LARPing homestead girls who are obsessed with the idea of being Hannah Nealman, aka Ballerina Farm.
They think that that's what their job is going to be, that he's going to go to work and she's going to post social media content and baking bread from scratch.
So I don't know who all these men are that Rack keeps meeting who are pressuring her to, wear a girdle and milk a cow. Like, these men simply do not exist.
In this picture, she looks like she's wearing one of those bows that you get on a brand new car when you get it for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Which I found you can buy on Amazon, which I was like pretty excited about.
She described her target audience for these speed dating events, saying it's just really hard to find these cool, normal conservatives. We're sort of like barstool conservatives, me and my friends. We drink, we like to have fun. Okay,
what the hell is a barstool conservative for women? What is the actual business analogy? Is that the EV conservatives or something? Is an EV conservative the barstool for women?
It's actually not accurate to call, women like Rack and her friends barstool conservatives, because the barstool girls actually were a totally different breed from the current day MAGA babe. Women like even Jenna Marbles back in the day, or the current day version being like Brianna Chicken Fry. Like, these women are actually more aptly called chill girls, which brings me to my next point. I just want to show. We got
a 20 here from Shane H. Wilder, who says, fun fact, the original reason for men standing on the curbside was because chamber pots were disposed of in the streets. It was to keep women from getting covered in waste.
Okay, so that's a little bit outdated.
Well, okay, so if ever I see somebody dumping a chamber pot into the street, I will dash to the opposite side. I won't be able to hear a word she's saying, but I'll do it.
The sidewalk rule just never really made sense to me, because like, are all of these people like getting run over when they're walking on the sidewalk? Anyway, aside from all that, I wanted to show this TikTok from a woman doing this. This is a genre of content now where they go on a date and then they come home and record a video diary about their experience on the date and their evaluation of the man that they just saw for the first time. This woman essentially says, this guy was great. He did everything right, but he was just too nice. So I guess we'll see if I'm going to see him again. We'll find out.
Let's play the clip here. Maybe I'm taking a risk here doing the screen share again, but I'm going to do the screen share again, and we're going to play this through. So here we go. Here we go, guys.
Awesome guy, and maybe I'll see him again, but I just think he might be a little too nice for me, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, and like, that's usually the dream, but he also really loves dogs. He's close with his family. He likes to travel.
He volunteers to children's charities.
He's been solo traveling. We were there for like 2.5 hours. Complete gentleman, paid for everything. I did my usual, like, do you want to split the bill? Of course he said no. And he paid for my Uber home. And it was nice. It was nice to be on a date with like a good New York guy again. So I'll let you guys know if we see him again.
Okay.
First of all, I just can't stand that women talk like this now. Like, I guess we'll just see him again.
Is it supposed like does she speak like that at her job? Assuming she has a job, does she talk like that at her job? It's a voice you put on, kind of in the same way that like when we do this podcast, to an extent, you have to project your voice because it's a skill set in a weird way to be able to project your voice in a way that's more than just how you would necessarily talk. I think it's actually more formed out of the fact that you have to sit a certain way. It forces you to start speaking a certain way. And for them, it's a mask that they put on to kind of drop into the persona that they start to embody when they develop a following online.
It's just super lame and juvenile. It's like, you're an adult woman. Use your real voice. I'm using my real voice right now. This is what I sound like.
Yep.
They're all pitching up, way up here. And like, especially when they get louder, they sound like banshees. But anyway, my point being of showing that video is presumably the guy that she went on that first date with followed all of Rack's bare minimum rules, right? He did everything right.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't good enough. So this is why men are becoming exasperated. Now, back to the definition of the chill girl, I wanted to cite this essay, which was published in The Guardian a few months back by an actual high school girl. Why are you publishing a high schooler's thoughts on literally anything, is my question. But she explains that since Trump got elected, she's noticed a lot of her female peers. I can like vaguely hear it through your mic, but not much.
Right.
Okay, so this girl explains that a lot of her female peers, since Trump got elected, have made a conscious effort to be less annoying around the guys in their age group by essentially letting them be guys. And she believes this is a sign that we are regressing as a society because all of these young girls who, ostensibly have progressive values are not speaking out when the guys in their peer group make offensive, bigoted jokes.
Yeah. And
they're trying to be what she calls the new chill girl.
So is this like an offshoot of the Pick Me?
Perhaps. Not quite the same thing because they're not going out of their way to join in with those jokes that they find distasteful, but they've stepped back from being a stickler about the woke rules.
We got a 20 here from Vodka Jables says, optical overlord saying, listen here, bitch, made me laugh like I couldn't breathe. Inside joke from my friend group is a catchphrase very similar. Look here, bitch. I vote this sound clip be added to the crisis party. Maybe. I mean, maybe at one point. All right, continue.
She said, I've noticed a phenomenon at my high school that I call the chill girl. A group of kids is talking casually. Seemingly out of the blue, one of the boys makes an offhanded joke. Maybe it's racist, sexist, or homophobic, but whatever the poison, they inject it, and the group dynamic shifts. As a rule, the boys continue as usual, while the girls, who tend to be more progressive, face a choice. They can speak up, which usually results in them getting the reputation as annoying and unable to take a joke, or they can let it pass and be regarded as a chill girl who isn't angry or woke. This latter reaction has become far more common, she says, since the election of Donald Trump in 2024.
Yeah.
And she says, the girls I talk to say it's riskier to be outspokenly liberal. A high school girl reported that boys are becoming more emboldened, confident to make bigoted jokes. Another said that since Trump took office, casual racism and sexism have become common. We see that behavior more, and it's happening to us. Young women feel social pressure to remain passive in the face of offensive remarks. Your guy friends will think you're attacking them. It's not worth it to speak out against every incident. You need to pick your battles. Even in comparatively liberal spaces, argues this girl, this teenager, like my high school, girls who wince at locker room talk risk exclusion. No one wants to hang out with the stickler, so no one wants to become her, and therefore juvenile illiberalism lives on.
She's actually mistaking liberalism and progressivism, but that's by the wayside.
I mean, I just thought it was kind of funny to juxtapose the MAGA babe clamoring and throwing a tantrum and shaming men into what she deems good behavior, even though she's purportedly conservative. And then on the other hand, you have the progressive liberal women actually biting their tongue in order to be a more pleasant person to be around.
Well,
it's an interesting reversal of the roles if you think about it.
Isn't it just a sign of, the current Overton window, or I guess what you'd call the pendulum swing, that's still kind of coming back the other way?
Yeah, and that poll of Gen Z Republicans was very telling. Well, it compared both political Democrats and Republicans, male and female, in Gen Z, and the value systems between Democrat and Republican Gen Z women were like not as different as you would think. Yeah. And similarly for the guys who were Republicans and Democrats, not as different as you would think when it comes to their priorities and core values. The guys they placed more value on marriage and family than the women, regardless of political affiliation. So just more evidence of our growing gender divide.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.